Hi, Joy Olson here, Blockbuster Fundraising. Say today I'm going to talk about two really fun events that happened to me and then why I think retention is so important as related to these events, okay? Here is the deal. Over the weekend, I was a first-time goer to a fundraising event that was spectacular. And I donated, and I loved it. I have a really new, passionate interest. First time, new donor. And secondly, I received an email from a friend of mine who is a CEO of a nonprofit organization in California. And it was a thank you, an email thank you. And it says, a big thank you for our big day of giving. And do you know what? They raised $94,000 in 24 hours. Wow, that's amazing. So here I am, and this both happened, the email and the event within like a 24-hour period. And I'm thinking, gee, I wonder how many donors were new donors, and I wonder how many gave online. And I was thinking about how I read about this fundraising event, and I went online and got tickets. And how do you keep the excitement going is where I'm going with this. How do you make the donor feel special and retain donors? Because just last week I read 4 takeaways from the new FEP, the Fundraising Effectiveness Project, and I'm sure that you know about that. If you don't, download it because it is really a great bellwether. I think they've got over almost 8 million donors involved to watch and see what's happening, and those donors account for over a few $1 billion in donations. So it's a really good bellwether. So the good news is retention rate was at 46.3% in the fourth quarter of 2017, which was up a little bit from the previous year. But hey, even being up 1.5%, you're still at 46.3%. And guess what? That's less than 50% of the peeps that are going to stick around. Yikes. So that's the deal. Oh, and then in the FEP effectiveness report too, in the fourth quarter 2017, new donor, if they're new donors, the retention drops way down to 31.8%. My point here is, how do we make our donors feel special? How are we going to keep them? Topic for today. Okay, so what we need to do, what we must do, is find ways to make our donors feel appreciated and to set them up to receive future communications from our organization. Yes, that's called building a relationship. So here are 7 relationship ideas for following up on this gift that you can take advantage of. All right, and you can take advantage of all of these on just one page. You can, number 1, say, your donation was processed successfully. 2, thank you. 3, explain how the donation will be used. 4, explain in detail how the donation will impact those that your organization serves. 5, show a photo or photos that depict the impact of the donation. 6, post a video that says thanks and shows the impact of the donation. 7, explain what the donor can expect to receive from future communications. You want to get them excited about what they've done, make them feel great, And then you want to get them ready for that second relationship building interaction that's going to be coming their way. Now, you're doing this on your website, all right? This is what we're talking specifically right now about your website, because that's where people are going to donate. That's where we're going to sign up for an event. That's where we're going to find out more information. And the worst thing that can happen is for a person to leave your website immediately after making a donation. Hey, you spent a lot of time and energy at getting them to your website and getting them to donate or come to an event. So, since they're already on your website, how about giving them something exciting to do next? Okay, this is important, and you want to think this through. Your website visitors don't give them too many options, because they could end up just choosing something at random that is kind of meaningless to them. And you know what? That ends up being meaningless to you too, because you want to give them options that if they sign up for it, gives you a clue as to what would excite them, what would keep them close to your organization, and keeping them interested. So here are a few ideas and that might make sense for your organization. So try a little bit of these. How about contact us, contact information. Contact us anytime with questions or concerns. Give social media buttons to share that they gave. Nice. 10, follow us, like us social media buttons. Give them links that directly lead to your social media accounts. Here's a good one. Link to a donor survey. It would be wonderful if they would give you just a short little donor survey. Not their life story, but something that gives you an inkling as to why they're interested in you, what got them there. And then, of course, a link. You can put a link to your blog post if you have one, or another website that you have. Link to upcoming events. And you can link to volunteer opportunities. And even if there is an employee matching option, you can see if their employer matches donation. So that's very helpful. All these things, all these ideas are ways to build a connection. And like we said, you don't have to use all of these. Pick the ones that you feel like are relevant for you. You don't want to have so much information there think, I got to get out of here. I'm busy. This is just too much. You can, if you have a blog, make sure that you give them the opportunity to subscribe to your blog. And if you have the opportunity, and I know you do, to have memorial or honor someone, make sure that there's a link there that lets them know that you will create and send a tribute card to the family or to the person that they're honoring. Your donation confirmation page is also a great opportunity to reassure the donor that they are not alone and that their gift matters. And an idea here could be a donor testimonial. Why I give or why I continue to give. That, I think, is really strong. People love testimonials, and they want to jump on board too. It's, that's why I give. That's why I care. And of course, if they're donating to a special project or a special campaign, then you really want to have a link to the status of that particular project. Okay, well, so there are some good ideas to build good relationships. I think another really great idea is to have a couple of videos with your story that illustrate, maybe in short videos, but are really touching videos that give them a little bit more information and a little bit more connection, and just make them feel wonderful about the opportunity of supporting you and doing all these good things together. And of course, your confirmation email or receipt is another great way of furthering this connection. And remember, all the reasons that we're doing this is we're building a relationship. We don't want less than 50% of our donors to leave. We want them to stick around. So do everything that you can do to make a connection, to make it interesting, to make it seem like you care. You just really need to embrace the gratitude and that how much you appreciate what they're doing and how much it means. You don't want a receipt to look like a store receipt. So you want it to be very touching. Bloomerang has I talk about Bloomerang a lot, but they're really a go-to place for me, and I'm so impressed with the entire group and what they do. And they have a 19-point checklist for donation email acknowledgments. And they say that if you follow this formula of theirs, you're going to have an effective thank you that drives additional action. It's going to be a relationship builder. Okay, you ready? Here goes. Subject lines. Subject lines are typically perfunctory, but they don't have to be. In fact, you can have some fun and set the tone before they even open up your email. So an idea for that. So subject line, donation receipt. Well, it's okay. It tells what it is, but it's hardly very exciting. Better, thank you for your donation. And best, your gift just changed a life. Isn't that cool? Well, they say that the risk with that last example is that it might not clearly signify a receipt. And subject lines are a great thing to test, measure, and adjust to make sure, and you do that by your open rate, and I'm sure that you're already doing some of that. Okay, the second thing you can do is your from reply to address. To make your email look more personal, set the sender as a real email address, like joy@nonprofit.org. This looks far more appealing than no reply or nonprofit.org. You get the picture. I mean, it's always fun to be hearing from a person, not just an org. Okay. 3, branding. Emails that look like they came from your organization rather than a generic payment processor. Hey, they're more authoritative, they're more trustworthy, and you know what? They're just prettier. I mean, your branding, you've worked on it. It's yours. So they identify with that and identify with you. I think it's a great way to build a relationship. Use your branding. 4, a personalized greeting. The first words of your email should be a personal greeting that includes your donor's name. Dear donor or dear friend, I don't think is just, it's not going to work nowadays, truthfully, because people are just turning to personalization and the competition is out there. You have to be a good fundraiser. You really have to hone your skills, and you have to hone your software too to make personalization very, very possible, usable, and be doing it. Okay, your tone. Don't be afraid to take an informal, conversational tone in your email, because it's a thank you. It should be warm. You don't want it bland and boring and like you don't really mean it. That's ridiculous. So make it nice and warm. And 6, use short paragraphs. You want short, scannable paragraphs because they're easier to read and they help your donor move down through your email. And if a donor opens your email and sees one giant wall of text, ooh, you can pretty much guarantee that it won't be read. So Bloomerang says shoot for 2 sentences per paragraph and 3 at the absolute most. Okay, now 7, your first thank you. The first full paragraph of your email acknowledgement should be a thank you. And not just any thank you. You need to shower them with the love and the adoration that they deserve. Impact statement. The second full paragraph should communicate the impact that the donation made. Because of you, a family of 4 will stay warm for 1 week. Or your $20 gift just supplied the vaccination one dog needs to be eligible for adoption. Specifically stating how the dollars will be used is best, and you'll really score points if you can weave in the story of a specific recipient. So important. Weave in a story. I love hearing from Oregon Humane Society, and I tell you, they weave the best stories into everything that they do. Really, it's absolutely wonderful. 9, first action request. The third full paragraph should ask the donor to take action. This can be your short new donor survey or a request for feedback on their experience as a supporter or attending the event. You could even highlight volunteer opportunities or inquire about employee matching. Perfect, right? Now, the second thank you. Your fourth full paragraph should reiterate how much you appreciate them. Seriously, pour the gratitude on. It is so important. And next, you really want to look for opportunities to humanize your brand, your organization, perhaps through a photo of your team or a thank you video. I honestly feel that a thank you video is just such a terrific idea. In case now of a first-time donation, your fifth full paragraph should set expectations for what the donor should expect from you next. Remember, you want them to know that this isn't just over. We are so excited that you are interested in us. We are so interested and grateful for your gift. This is the beginning of a great relationship. So you want to set the stage. And you can start by saying, over the next few weeks, you can expect to receive, because after all, you've got your new donor welcome plan, your pack, right? If you don't, you need to review some of those videos on the new welcome pack on our YouTube channel, because you definitely need a new welcome pack. And it can be very simple, but you follow through. You have 4 or 5 steps and you follow through, because you are building a relationship. This is stewardship. This is your job. You've got to keep your donors and you've got to build a relationship. Here's a really good idea, y'all. A tax receipt in your organization's name. The term tax receipt and your organization name should appear in plain text somewhere on your email. And you know why? Because then your donor can search their email box around tax time, long after their actual donation, to locate this document. So make it easy for your donors. And I just thought that was a wonderful idea. That was a new aha moment for me. I often do that. Search my emails by a term like tax receipt. So, but I wanted to share that with you. I thought that was really great. Okay, social sharing, you know that you can consider a tweet your support link that opens maybe a pre-written tweet for the donor to send, like, I just donated to nonprofit.org. All right, let's wrap this up. Don't want to keep you too long, but just remember, whatever you are working on, you want to have a follow-through, follow-up plan. You really do, because retention is where it's at. And we've done different lives and different YouTubes on the quantitative analysis of just upping your retention rate 10%, what it can mean to your year-end fundraising dollars and your 5-year fundraising donor value. It's just incredible. But the important thing is, don't just let your donors languish. I mean, it's kind of like right now we're all out planting our gardens, and it's so exciting, spring and summer. And gee, if you go out there and do all that work and then don't take care of it, you don't water it, you don't weed it, you don't do anything, what a waste of time, and really a waste of money. So your donors are, I love flowers, but boy, donors are so special. They're so much more special than well, they're lifeblood of a fundraising organization. They're the lifeblood of your nonprofit. So you really must take great care of your donors. You must make them feel so very special. Lastly, you want to find out as much about your donors as you can too, because this allows you to set up the parameters of your communication style or your relationship style. Or it's so important to know enough about them that you can start building solid relationships, because that, retention is all about relationships. And if our retention rate isn't good, if our retention rate is less than 50%, and we're development director, I don't know. I think that means there's a lot of room for improvement. Okay, Joy Olson, Blockbuster Fundraising. I hope you have a great week. Remember, we're live every Tuesday, 1 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and we've got lots of free fundraising videos on our YouTube channel at blockbusterfundraising.com. You can find more about us at joyolsongroup.com and blockbusterfundraising.com. So have a great week. Retain those donors. Appreciate the heck out of them. We appreciate you. Thanks. Bye-bye.